And let's talk about some teammates now. Both over 1,000 yards, these tandems, except for one, but he made the 900-yard club. But yeah, 1,000-yard tandems right here. Which teammate would you rather have in 2020? Keenan Allen or Mike Williams?
I always got to go with Keenan, man. Yeah, he's reliable as hell. You know, besides he has a little bit of injury bug, but when he's on the field, man, he produces. I mean, it's going to be tough with Tyrod this year to see, you know, how that offense kind of evolves and who gets more opportunities this year. But I mean, can't go against Keenan, man.
What about you, Drew?
Yep, Keenan all the way. Not even close.
Not even close. I heard some people talking about this exact question, so it kind of surprised me. I kind of had to provide some education that day. So I'll share. We know Keenan's alpha, made the last 3 Pro Bowls. He didn't miss a game last season after missing 30 in the previous 6 years, so he deserves some credit on that front. I get the hype. I'll give props to Mike Williams, first season over 1K. But you're comparing him to a guy that's been so consistent, as you both stated. Like, Mike Williams is yet to catch 50 passes in a season. He might be the Alshon Jeffrey to Brandon Marshall or the Julio Jones to Roddy White. I won't bet on that. But, hey, potential high side, he might be that guy where he gets the baton, becomes an alpha. Even so, I'm just not writing off Keenan Allen yet. I mean, I get it. He's got things to prove. He missed 30 games in 6 years, and I'm banking on last year. But it's Tyrod Taylor now. And Mike Williams is more of the vertical threat. Keenan Allen's more of the everywhere threat. So reliable. So 3-0 sweep because I don't even think that one's even close. All right, the Browns. We got Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham. Who do you got?
I think Jarvis is super, super underrated, but oh my gosh, man. Like, OBJ's talent is just unseen, unheard of. He still has potential to get better. I'll take OBJ.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what happened to him last year. Maybe he was hurt and just the whole situation was bad. But I mean, yeah, like Drew said, his talent's ridiculous. You know, if everything's going good and, you know, he plays 16 games, you know, he's one of those guys that has the potential to be, you know, lead the league in receiving. So, I mean, I don't think it's all happening with this situation necessarily because of what we touched on earlier about, you know, Stefanski taking over and them being maybe more of a running team. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to go against him.
5 Pro Bowls to 3. Both had 14 yards per catch. OBJ used to have an advantage at yards per catch in his career. They had the same with Baker. That 5-3 in Pro Bowls in favor of Jarvis Landry. I mean, I'm just sharing information. We know the high side of OBJ, but I just feel like we're always saying that OBJ is capable of something that is continuously not met. I think we like him too much as his character, perhaps, personality. I think we get a lot of OBJ exposure. I think he's as talented as they come. But is that always going to be the story with OBJ? Is he ever going to lead the league in something? Is he going to take that next step in maturity and production? Is he going to be like Michael Thomas, even Keenan Allen? Is he going to be like Julio Jones, D-Hop? So far, the answer has been no. Does he ever enter that conversation instead of us talking about what he can do or that he's talented? Does he ever enter that conversation on the field?
I don't know. I feel like he has already. If you take out last year, I mean, you put his years with the Giants together, and I think he's either top 3 or top 2 or the first in like most yards in the first 2 or 3 years in the league. Like he was damn. I think kind of people forget how productive he was with the Giants. He just kind of had, the whole off the field situation. They kind of were sick of his antics. You can see him complaining to the refs a lot. For non-calls. He kind of gets that prima donna label a little bit. But I mean, but he produced those last years. So I mean, I put most of the blame on Freddie Kitchens. I don't think he's an NFL caliber head coach, and I think the best thing they did was get rid of him. So I'm really curious to see, what they do this year. Unfortunately, like I said, it's probably going to be pretty heavy run offense, but I think we're going to see a different Odell this year.
Okay. Hey, Drew, let's talk about your Rams. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. They both had over 1K, but you expect both to get over 100 catches this year. I mean, I take Cooper Kupp. I think he's the better receiver, the go-to guy. But I do want to show love to Robert Woods. The guy's been showing up on the map. His first 5 seasons, he didn't get to 1,000 yards, but it's cool. I'm fine with late bloomers because I like development. The last 2 years with Sean McVay, Robert Woods has been in that conversation. He's put up those numbers. But I'm still going to go with Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Honestly, I can't choose. They're almost the same exact player to me. They're both phenomenal route runners. The only thing I would say is they use Woods a lot in that jet sweep. I looked at it the other day, actually. Woods is actually more targeted overall, and he's actually more targeted on 3rd and 4th downs. So, I mean, there's a reason for that. Maybe it's just Goff and that chemistry. But, I mean, both players are great. I love that they're both Rams. It's really hard for me to pick one or the other. But since
You're on the clock.
Woods is I'll stick with the hometown since Robert Woods went to USC. I'll take Robert Woods.
Ooh. Wow. Paul?
Oh, man. Yeah, like Drew said, that's a tough one. Damn. I don't know either. I mean, I guess I'll go with Woods too, because I mean,
Wow.
I don't know. I just feel like he's, Kupp had the big injury, but obviously came back strong. Woods he's like an Iron Man. He's been pretty healthy. He shows up every week. He's tough as nails. He's probably one of the best blocking receivers out there. I just like his overall skill set. Everything he does, like he's kind of got that, like Drew said on the jet sweeps, because when he gets the ball in his hands, he's kind of like a running back. So I just feel like his overall skill set is just just better, I guess. So even though it's super tough, I'll pick him too.
Not gonna lie, I'm actually surprised. Wow. Yeah.
I love them both, man. Cooper Kupp. The only thing I'll say about when I'm watching these Rams games, and I'm watching them over and over and over, Cooper Kupp is always open. And it's not like Robert Woods isn't open, but I feel like more times, the times that I jump off my couch or I jump off my chair or start cheering, it's because Robert Woods made the play that we needed. And that goes to show why I took a look at those targets on 3rd and 4th down. Those are just what I remember. Cooper Kupp has the stats. He does have big games, but in those clutch moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, thank God it's Woods who made the play.
All right, guys. I like it. I'll reassess. You're throwing some shine on Woods. I'll reassess a little bit. We'll see. But all right, let's keep the same division then. Tyler Lockett, he had 1057 through the air. DK Metcalf, 900. I think DK is a problem. I think he's a monster, next level. Not to dismiss Tyler Lockett. He's good, very smooth, absolutely reliable. The only receiver with 60-plus catches and a higher catch percentage than Lockett was Michael Thomas.
Yes, sir.
So Lockett is smooth and reliable. But Metcalf's on the rise. So who do you guys got? You're on the clock in fantasy. Lockett or Metcalf?
Damn, that's tough. Yeah, I think Lockett's much more polished route runner and kind of just, DK is still kind of raw, even though I think he was able to make an impact early because the way Seattle's offense is, it's kind of like they're obviously a running team, but their passing game is basically like chunk plays and like street ball, basically, where Russell's extending plays for 15 seconds and then kind of throwing it downfield. And, DK can win jump balls because he's a beast, or he can just outrun you. So I think you don't need to be a perfect route runner to play in Seattle's system and still be effective. So I think that's why Metcalf was able to make an impact so early. But Lockett, man, that guy is smooth. He runs routes and he's fast. Like I love everything about his game. So I gotta go with Lockett.
Yeah, that's a heartbreaker, but I do agree. I love DK Metcalf for sure. But comparing the two, as far as clear-cut number one receivers, we know DK Metcalf was a rookie last year, so Tyler Lockett obviously the number one receiver. But as far as clear-cut number one receivers, Tyler Lockett tied with Tyreek Hill as far as yards per catch, 14 yards per catch. So he makes it happen, and they're a running team. On the other side, DK as a rookie, as far as clear-cut number one receivers, he had 16 yards per catch. That's top 5 as far as those receivers. So he makes it happen. DK is a physical freak. He's got the speed. He's got the strength. Body control is unmatched. And, Paul made a great point. You never know where Russell's going to be if he's throwing you the ball. So you have to act like every route, every second you don't hear that whistle, you're open. So Tyler Lockett made a living off of that. One of the first things that you said about Michael Thomas, Wes, was that he's the only one with a higher catch percentage. I took a look at that too. Tyler Lockett's 72% catch rate with Russell Wilson. That is just insane. He could do it all over the field. He's always open. Even if he isn't open, he's making that in-traffic catch. And it's just amazing for a guy without the size that DK has for him to make those plays. I have to go with Tyler Lockett just because of the history. But, don't sleep on DK, man. That guy is poised for greatness.
I like it. Good stuff, fellas. I like it. All right, let's go to Buffalo. That sounds weird when I bring up Stefon Diggs. And, hey, John Brown, both 1,000-yard receivers, different teams last year. Take your pick here.
Man, this one's tough too. This is some really good ones. I think because they're both very similar. They both run really good routes. They both can, get the deep ball. They both go over the middle. They're both tough. So it's a hard one. I almost want to take John Brown because Diggs has all the, antics, but as far as just on the field play, like I got to go with Diggs, man. He's like the way he's produced and, his route running and he catches everything in sight. And he's tough. I love his game. If it wasn't for all the off field stuff, be even higher on him probably, but yeah.
True.
I agree. They're almost the same kind of player. They're almost the same guy, but watching those plays, those highlights, one-on-one coverage, I think Stefon Diggs has the edge in every category. I think he has a little bit more of a game breaker speed. I think he's a better route runner. I think he's better between the hashes, and I think he's better yards after catch also. So I'll keep it pretty simple. I like John Brown, but everything that John Brown does well, Diggs does better.
Damn. Hey, it's good that they're on the same team for Josh Allen. So, hey, the good news, I think combined they'll get like 1,800 yards and a dozen touchdown celebrations. I think they're going to dance a little bit in Buffalo. I know they have questions as a team, but the wide receivers are going to ball. Last year, they both averaged kind of 4 catches for 70-ish yards. you have to split hairs. I think in the aspect of a low volume day, and I go back to Diggs had some frustrating moments. He actually went public. Look, I think that's the furthest thing from Josh Allen's mind, from everyone in Buffalo's mind. Yet it's a reality that could come to fruition again. I'm not trying to point fingers at Diggs. I'm not trying to say he's a bad guy. I think he's a dope player. I think he's a top 15 wide receiver. I don't know. He's probably on the lower end of that, but I think he's up there. Here's what I know. Both guys, they can play with any quarterback and be productive. Diggs has played with Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Bradford, Case Keenum, and Kirk Cousins. That's adaptability. John Brown, he's played with Carson Palmer, Drew Stanton, Blaine Gabbert, Joe Flacco, and Lamar Jackson. Now Josh Allen. So, look, I think it's an awesome tandem. I think as a duo, they might be higher on the list than even we think we would rank them. But production-wise, I think they might surprise a lot of people. Diggs is the more talented guy. He's never dipped below 700 yards in 5 years with those quarterbacks. And last 2 seasons, over 1,000 yards. I think Buffalo's going to get both guys involved. I do think it's a little bit of a coin toss, but JB's got the advantage because he's got the chemistry with Josh Allen already. You got to mix it up a little bit with backyard football with Josh Allen. I actually think John Brown's a really good route runner. Maybe not Stefon Diggs level, but I don't think he's that far behind. I saw a lot of improvements from JB. Again, I take both. I think it's a coin toss, but I'll give the edge to the guy that played with the quarterback last year. But I understand everyone for picking Diggs. I think if we had to play clean slate, fantasy reality, the answer is probably Diggs for everyone.